Midweek message. We're taking some lessons from Proverbs chapter 28, and I'm going to begin reading in verse 17. I'm reading from the New International Version of the Bible. Anyone tormented by the guilt of murder will seek refuge in the grave. Let no one hold them back. The one whose walk is blameless is kept safe, but the one whose ways are perverse will fall into the pit. Those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies will have their fill of poverty. A faithful person will be richly blessed, but one eager to get rich will not go unpunished. And those are verses 17 through 20 of Proverbs chapter 28. Let's look at them one by one. Verse 17. Anyone tormented by the guilt of murder will seek refuge in the grave. Let no one hold them back. I deal with a number of people every week that have suicide ideation. The great majority of them have suffered great loss or abuse in their lives, but some bear a guilty conscience that will not let them go. Verse 17 of Proverbs 28 says, if a person is tormented by the guilt of a murder, and this may just be one of many things, but it's a great example of a thought that would torment and follow a person. Anyone tormented by guilt might seek to take their own lives, and no one would be able to hold them back from that, from the guilt. I can get away from a good many things in my life, and you can in yours. Guilt is not one of them. And a person tormented by the guilt of murder may seek to take their own life, and no one would be able to hold them back. Verse 18, the one whose walk is blameless is kept safe, but the one whose ways are perverse will fall into the pit. Being blameless, being righteous, is superior to being wicked or perverse. The scripture says that the righteous life keeps a person safe, whereas the wicked life, it says here, will fall into the pit. And you might even make that mean eternally, referring to the pit of hell in the future or in eternity. But certainly those who walk in a wicked way create problems for themselves on this earth as well. Verse 19, those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies will have their fill of poverty. There's a contrast drawn between a person who is industrious and takes care of their business and receives the abundance that their hands form through work. There's a difference between that person and a person that just has a lot of thoughts in their mind. Big ideas, but no follow-through and no action. Those who work their land, those who work, are superior to those who chase fantasies. And verse 20, a faithful person will be richly blessed, but one eager to get rich will not go unpunished. And this bears a little bit of a connection to the verse before, because it talks about a person being faithful in whatever they're doing, as opposed to a person that is always chasing fantasies, the prior verse said, or is looking for get-rich-quick schemes. One eager to get rich will not go unpunished. Generally, that type of life leads to destruction and despair, whereas being faithful, working your land and working with your hands, walking blamelessly, and keeping a good conscience, generally those things keep a person safe.